We are going live. We are going live. So let's just check a few things because I don't know if anything's working. Let me put my hand out here. Here we go. Visually, that's working. There's an advert playing now. That's delightful. So we're just checking some audio at the moment because I've got some new equipment stood in between these two printers. Let's skip the ads. Equipment stood in between these two printers. It's over deviating a little bit. Let's turn it down. Let's turn it down a touch. How does that sound? Let's turn it down. Let's turn it down a touch. There you go. How does that sound? There you go. That'll do. That will do. Hello. Hope you're well. So this is a bit of a weird one. I was sent this QIDI XMAX3 a number of months ago. This is the one on the left. And there were a number of issues with it. And the issues were the bed crashed into the bottom of the build plate and scratched a load of stuff and dug holes into the plastic framework and things. And of course, I was going back and forth with support quite a bit. And this was sent to me as a working consumer model. So I kind of assumed that I wouldn't be a beta tester for it. And as it turned out, a bunch of us kind of were sent these things thinking that they were going to be one thing and they're actually something else. So they stopped production completely of this machine to revise it. And this great big box is the one that's just turned up. This is 38 kilos, including the box and all the other bits and pieces here. So getting it up the stairs into the studio was a thrilling challenge, as you can imagine. So a little bit about this printer, and they've given me a whole content guideline here. So that's kind of nice to see. We're going to get this out of the box real quick. Just a few things just to start off with. Hi, hope you're well. Hope things are good. It's been a mad, crazy couple of weeks, as you can imagine, with the America trip and all the rest of that. And I have no other time in my day than right now to basically undo this box and start making content on this printer. So hopefully, if you're along for the ride, welcome along. There are already some curious things that I've noticed about the printer here. The build volume on this is 325 by 315. On this one, it's 325 square. So I don't know, maybe that crashing into the, I don't know. But what I can tell you is a 600 millimeter per second printer with 20,000 per second on the, millimeters squared on the acceleration. So it's very similar to the K1, but a little bit bigger. So maybe this is a consumer model printer that you might be interested in. They've listed this as a consumer industrial grade 3D printer. There's a load of information here, which I'll go through. But what we want to do straight away is say hello to everybody. I'll get these boxes and these printers off of the deck here. Hello, Phil. Trust you're well, mate. Carl, hope you're well. It's a UK friendly time. Dark and Shadow 32, just got yours yesterday. Awesome. It is Klipper. It is a Klipper printer. That's one of the things. It says right here, it says benchy in 14 to 16 minutes, which is interesting because is it going to be a proper speed benchy or just a benchy? And it says, why so fast? And the first one is literally Klipper. So it has got a 64-bit processor, which has been upgraded with Klipper. There's a CoreXY A53 chip on there as well, with a frequency of 1.5 gigs. So 1 gig DDR3, yada, yada, yada. Of course, what makes this super fast is the CoreXY build. So this is the old one, and I'm not entirely sure with what I'm going to do with this, but I will tell you now, it is heavy, very, very heavy. There we go. Let's let that down on the floor. Wow, look at that. It's Adam. Adam's on the stream. Ugh, can't believe it. Yeah, so this is a bit unorthodox because I wouldn't normally sort of stream around this time, but there is no other time right now. It's crazy. Let's check out and see if the other camera's working. Yeah, it's in the wrong position, but it is working. Okay, cool. Cool, so this got sent to me. This was a bit of a whim, actually, because usually I'd get contacted by a company. They'd send me the printer. This was actually via an agent, which was a bit strange. And I wasn't expecting it to sort of be as bizarre as this whole situation's been. especially with the way it's gone. But what can you do? The other thing is this is a £1,000 printer. So in the market of CoreXYs right now, and got the K1s over there, and we've got the Bamboos over there as well. It's actually a pretty good and reasonably priced printer, ultimately for the money. But I'm not familiar with the brand. It's not a big brand, certainly, that I've come across, despite all their information of how big their sites are and all that kind of craziness. The other thing I've noticed about this, and certainly on the last one, is it did have carbon fiber linear rails. And I don't know if this one is steel. So what have we got here? Finally powered up your Sonic pad. That sounds awesome. It's peaking a bit, is it? I can move it. I can, hang on, let me come down with that. So this is new. So this is a new microphone. So I don't remember the box being quite as big as this. But here we are. Wow, look at all this stuff. Okay, so that's really interesting. So these feet are exactly the same ones that are on the K1. So see how you like that. We've got an Ethernet connector. We've got a little scraper. We've got some tools and other bits and pieces. And we have special paper for build plate leveling. Don't remember having that last time either. All right, got a screwdriver, and we've got another hot end as well for whatever you choose to. Let me know if the volume is okay now, guys. There's nothing worse than peaky volume. And I think you might be right there. Let me just see if I can turn that down. Or what I might do is just put the microphone over here and let me know if you can't hear me. We've got another microphone actually as well. So these are, this is a DJI set that I picked up, and if I hit this button, that gets me a second microphone. There we go. If that sounds weird, let me know. Hello, Dan. Crikey. So this was a weird time to stream, as I said before. I don't need two mics, do I? Let's put this one back. It's a weird time to stream, but as I say, I've got no other option there at this point in time. So here we go. Let's get into it. So as I say, 325 squared was on the last one. The revision of this one, certainly on the paperwork, says that it's 315 on the Z. Let's have a look and see what else it says. Large format 3D printer, 325 by 315, controlled temperature chamber and drying box, maximum at 65 Celsius, all new metal frame, ultra stable and resistant to deformation, new cooling system, high performance material printing, and it's ultra fast, 600 millimeters per second on the print speed and 20,000 millimeters per second on the acceleration, with a 35 squared extruder flow, which I think is literally the matching specs to the K1 from memory there. Easy installation, and it is Klipper, so they're not making any bones about it. They're not trying to dress it up as something else, which, you know, some companies do. Yeah. So we have got, I think they've changed the linear rails. So previously, this machine came with carbon fiber rods, and there was a big sticker on the top saying these aren't going to be changeable, and once it's dead, it's dead. So on this one, it doesn't look like that's the case. So let's try and get this sucker out of the box. I'm not going to lie, it is a bloody big printer. Yeah. As I fall over. Right. And before you start, yes, I have been going to the gym. Although with all these big printers, space is still an issue, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm hoping it is a stock Klipper install. Let's have a look on the back here. Yeah, so on the print size on the back here is still 325 square. So again, I don't know what they've changed. Right, let's strip it down. Let's get these bits and pieces out. much the same as the Creality K1 and also the Bamboo Labs, I believe, and certainly from memory, we've got to do something with the bed, and that usually is taking screws out and stuff like that. It is a lot of plastic. There's so much plastic on this printer, it's unreal. Incidentally, this is how big this thing is. It's bigger than me. Incidentally, in the very late 90s, I had a flat. And in that flat, and because I was lazy, I still am, I bought myself a tabletop dishwasher. And it kind of reminds me of that. But unfortunately, this won't be doing your dishes. It will be printing awesome models if they've managed to get it right this time, and hopefully they have. There's a lot of stuff in here. Oh my God. Your jerk and lift was spot on. Hey, Sergio, hope you're well. AJ, hope you're well. Yeah, the other thing I wanted to try as well, today we are coming to you broadcasting live with Starlink. So we're beaming up into Elon Musk's idea of what internet should be. So we are we're on the Starlink. We've removed a couple of things because usually I go through StreamYard. So instead of going through StreamYard, we've gone straight to YouTube as a different way of doing things. Oh my God, how am I going to get all this stuff out? This is incredible. Right, let's chuck that over there. There is a lot of stuff in here. Oh my God. There's a lot to cut in here as well. There's a lot of bits and pieces. Okay, let's take these bits out. So one of the other kind of amusing aspects of this is that not only have I got one of these machines, I've got two of them. So space is very much at a premium right now. The build volume on here is 330 by 330. That's on the QIDI build plate here. There's a ton of stuff to cut. I'm going to move a camera around. And I'll move this out of the way. Bear with me for a moment. Let's try and move this one over here a little bit so you get a better view of what's going on in a moment. So, there's loads of things to cut out in here. Can't believe I only scheduled this for an hour. Okay, so inside of this little box here, we do have a UK power supply. We do have a plastic filament connector. We do have, what even is this? Some black filament, which looks interesting. Printing speed of 200 to 400 millimeters per second. I don't know if this is a special filament or what that is. Nothing on there. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we've got some glue. On there. Can you confirm? I confirmed when I took the pot yesterday. Lots of plastic foam. There is tons of it. It's an obscene amount. Okay, let's get rid of that box as well. Okay. So in the back of the box, oh my God. So this is a filament holder. And of course, if you've got something that is going to be sort of carbon fiber or sensitive to moisture, drying it and popping it in here might not be such a bad idea. There is so much packaging. Good news. Right, so let's move some bits and pieces out of the way. That's hit up this second camera so you can kind of see what I'm doing inside. And the other thing we'll do is I'll move that around just a second there. Hopefully nothing will fall off. Okay. Yeah, get a bigger studio, he said. There'd be loads of room, he said. Okay, what we don't have in here is any cutters, so that's kind of annoying. Stanley knife. Let's use that. That's hit number 2. Bosh. Right, hopefully you guys can still hear me. Let me know if you can't. Let's move him around. Okay, so there are a few things in here that I'm going to need to cut. I heard the customer service is top notch. Anyone had to deal with them? I have had to deal with them in the early stages when I didn't realize I was actually being a beta tester for these products. So I'm just going to cut these off. 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so I can confirm right now, hopefully you can still hear me. Sounds good. Okay, good. They've changed the linear rails out from carbon, or the rods certainly, from carbon fiber to steel. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, it was kind of weird. There was a sticker on top of the printer on the last one, which I might be able to show you in a minute, and it basically says, in fact, I can show you. No, I can't. It says, hang on. Here we go. Here's the sticker. So it says, carbon fiber tubes cannot be replaced. And that was that. But they've replaced them with steel ones. So nice little revision there on this printer. Okay, let's take some more stuff out. There's so much plastic in here. I think there's something to be said for making your own box. And personally, I kind of would have liked to seen this without the box, because you can only access in from the front, gives you only so much, doesn't it? What we'll say though is if you can see in here, you can't quite see, but the magnets they've used on here are very much reminiscent of the new kind of Losbot style magnets, and the bed sticks really, really well to that. What else have we got? There's some more plastic at the top to cut out. There we go. One on that motor. Let's get rid of that. And what have we got at the top here? Another one here. So as you guys know, I've recently just come back from America, and all hell has broken loose since doing that ShareFest show with QIDI. And I've been offered a ton of other work from a variety of different places since then, which has been very, very interesting. Some of which I am going to take them up on their offers. Other things I'm not, but needless to say, it'll all come in good time, I'm sure. So when the right time is the right time, I'll let you know what's going on with that. But needless to say, I've got a few more trips, certainly out to the US, and possibly one out to Germany, and maybe one to Asia as well, which is going to be kind of cool. So let's cut this open. Let's get this done. Let's move this round. Let's get rid of that and get rid of that. Pop that on the back for a second. Right, it does say on the bed here that I need to undo 4 screws. So we'll get on with that. Hey, Phil, I don't know what you've done there. Welcome to support me in 3D printing. Thanks, mate. Thank you, dude. Appreciate that. I don't know what that is, but I'm sure it's awesome. So on the top of this one, it says, please open the upper cover and front door of the printer before printing PLA. Oh, that's annoying. So please open the upper cover and front door of the printer before printing PLA and TPU in case the temperature of the chassis is too high, causing the filament to soften and cause the nozzle to block. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. So you've got to leave the door open if you're printing PLA. Okay. Righto. If you say so. If you say so. Take care, dude. Yeah, so we've got some mad things coming up anyway. So we've got 4 screws in here, and go back to camera number 2. Bosh. I'll just show you what I'm doing there. There are 4 screws in there, very, very similar to pretty much any CoreXY at the moment that is at that consumer grade. I meant to check as well whether or not UK company Construct 3D on how big their bed was. I think it's around, no, I don't know, I've just lost that. I think it's around 300. So the big one that they do is around, I'm sure it's around 300. It might be 280. But so far, from the out-of-box CoreXY world, at this precise moment in time, I believe, I might be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, this might be the biggest CoreXY 3D printer that you can get pre-assembled out of the box and delivered to your door with a happy smile. I have also just got an email from the guys about a software upgrade. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do that straight away. They have advised it. But if we're just going to do literally a test print on this, then so be it. So yeah, so straight away, there's a couple of changes on this. And when I do my fuller review, obviously the carbon rod changes to steel rods is a big difference there. And they've also suggested methods of lubrication for those rods as well. So there. Right, those 4 are out. Anything else we need to do? Hello, Lewis. Hope you're well. So if you just joined us, this is the QIDI X3. No, it's not. It's the QIDI XMAX3. It's a big boy. It's a big boy printer. It's absolutely huge. So I'll just give it a spin around as well so you can see what's on the back. Oh my God, it's heavy. So as I said before, hopefully you can see that in the shot. So if you're using materials that are sensitive to moisture, that basically plugs onto the back. We're not going to use that today. There's a load of dissident stuff in here. What else have we got in here? Yeah, there's a couple of caps and some other bits and bobs. I'm not going to use that on this printer right now. I may well do when I go to do my proper testing. But this is about getting it out of the box. So happy days. Is that how you pronounce the name? I never figured out how to. You know what? In absolute honesty, I do not know. QIDI, Q-I-D-I, QIDI. Listen, if you've got a better name for it, let's hear it. I do not know. So the filament that they've sent me, which is attached here, I don't know what filament it is because it doesn't tell me. It says filament diameter 1.75, net weight 500 grams, and the speed information. There is not a PLA, ABS, any information on this at all. So I'm going to assume it's PLA. Yeah, I don't know how it's pronounced. Okay, if you can figure out the filament, let me know. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I mean, it does feel like PLA, to be fair. It'd be useful though if they put it on the packaging, wouldn't it? Anyway, moving on. Let's thread this through and let's just get it up into the printer and the print head. Just as a formality, I'm going to take the top off of this. The other thing is kind of weird about this is there is a USB port right at the top of the printer. So if this was on the floor, it might be all right. But if you're fumbling around trying to find where the connection is, it's at the top here, top right-hand corner. Let's just see if there's anything else I need to be looking at in here. And I'm going to open the door as well. So hopefully you can see what's going on. What does it say in here? The printer is installed with a copper-plated let's say that again. The printer is installed with a copper-plated hot end. If you require to print PA12 carbon fiber, PET carbon fiber, ABS, GF, etc., please replace it with the other nozzle. Now, the other nozzle, of course, is what came in the packaging. So if we decide to do that at some point, we will. That's so weird, isn't it? How big is this printer? Literally. For my next trick. Cool. So that's here. That's that. Easy peasy. There's an Ethernet cable here, and there's an Ethernet cable port on the back. So that's good. We've got these feet. I'm not feeling man enough today to lift those up, so I'm going to leave those in there. And we do have this little screwdriver as well. Nothing really to write home about in there, but we do have the USB stick as well. So let's pop that down there. Let's pop the USB stick into the printer. Just out of interest, who said that they, hi Paul, hope you're well, mate. QIDI, is it called QIDI? QIDI. I'm happy to call it QIDI. QIDI. So Dark Shadow 32. Did you do the upgrade? I got an email saying you should probably do the upgrade. That's worrying. So this is a bit of heat shrink that has just appeared. I'm not sure from where, unless it was holding the holding these tools together. Hopefully it's not off the printer. I'm also going to use a tried and tested power supply, which is just a normal kettle lead that I have on the floor here. Copper plated, confusing. Yeah, it is, isn't it? This is the problem, I guess, with sort of terminologies of things. And the other thing I want to check, by the way, is power supply. Where is the power supply? Is it underneath? Oh my God, it's so heavy. Okay, the power supply is underneath, and we are, okay. This is awesome. So we're using mean wells, by the way. So we've got two massive mean wells in the back. The power rating on the back of this is 900 watts. So it is a, well, Adam would tell you. Adam, 900 watts. Pretty impressive. That's what I say. Not yet. I just ran the Buddy G code yesterday. It arrived late last night, and most of it was setting up. Overall, the setup was super quick and painless. So cool. Okay, well, let's turn it on in that case. The screen might go blank for a second. It didn't. That's good. It sounded like we've got a BL touch in there as well. Let's have a look. We have got a BL touch in there of sorts, which has just failed because it's hit on part of the framework in there. So you might not be able to see, but just up in here, little BL touch. We'll move the camera around in a minute so maybe you can get a better angle of that in a second. This is what happens when you become totally disorganized and desensitized by trips to foreign countries. The other thing we do, let's just have a little move around on here. Look at this. Here we go. Wow, look at that. Cool. Okay, so on the screen here, which I'll now lusciously remove, whoosh, just like that. We're going to go English, next. We're going to remove the ties, which we've done. It also then tells you about removing the screws to fix the bed in. And we're about the moving plot. It says about to moving platform. Please make sure the platform is clean and unlocked. It is. Here we go. Right. So apparently there might be some foam underneath, which is basically telling me here now. I'm going to move camera. What else we got? Yeah, 900 watts is insane, actually, but I guess it needs it. I have a hernia to keep moving it, though. Yeah, tell me about it, dude. Honestly, I'm doing quite well at the gym, though, at the moment. So I'm swinging 24s right now. That's 24 kilos. And I can do about 140 swings. All right, take out the packing foam. Now it's saying there's a calibration screen now, which you can't see because it's up the top here. Let's do a little zoom in on that. Preheat the hotbed to the filament printing temperature. So do I do that myself? Okay. So I'm going to assume it's PLA. Let's see what happens now with this. Zoom back out again. There's that BL touch. Yeah, so again, the build volume in this is it says 325 by 325. The bed is 330 by 330. So I'm assuming you can use that as you wish to. The bottom of the printer looks a little different to the last one. I'll do a proper comparison video. There is also a big metal plate that's going across the base of this as well, which I don't think it had before. But if you see these 4 screws here, you've got nuts on the end of them. And basically what happened last time is this just, for whatever reason, just slammed into the bottom and dug massive holes into the plastics. This is calibration. So this is adjust the platform height up and down. This is interesting. So this is kind of old school. There's going to become a time where children won't know how to level beds. And here we go. So calibration 4, adjust the platform height up and down using the up and down buttons on the right hand side to make sure that the nozzle and build plate are touching the level paper until you feel the friction when you move the okay, so we know how to level a bed. So let's do that then. So let's click. So does that ask me to do it now? Okay, it is. But it's miles away at the minute. Okay, so let's go up in 1 mil increments. Let's see what happens with this. So it's pretty interesting. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Obviously using Klipper, I have never experienced having to do this before. Hopefully this won't take too long, guys. We're very close. Come on. We're there. I'm happy with that. Right, let's go. Here we go. Calibration number 3. It's now going to do compensation values, which are going to be collected and analysed, apparently. So there's the BL touch bobbling up and down now. If you can see that. Hopefully you can. If you can't, then I'll just move this back ever so slightly. So BL touch is knocking away on the build plate now. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 points for the build plate there. So while that's doing that, I'll read some other information. Oh, look at that. That was weird, wasn't it? Hello. Loving that. Loving life right now. Right, what have we got here? Starlink is... Oh, no. What's this? Starlink is broken. Can you see if the wattage rating is on the underside of the bed? All the power's been drained to the printer. Just checking the firmware on the machine. It's the latest version according to the QIDI site. I'll tell you real quick then, while that's doing that, I'll tell you what I've got. Maybe we can... So the firmware I've got here is in a zip file. Let's undo this. Okay. And I've got... Oh, Christ, it doesn't tell me. I'm not going to mess with it just yet. It doesn't tell me what the firmware version is. What do we say here? Well, it's still Klipper 0.10. So see if it's already updated to the latest build. There are really some new build. There's really some new builds a few days ago. Yeah, so this was like very, very new. They emailed me today and said, hey, make sure you do this update. But it doesn't tell me. It gives me the printer CFG and it gives me a load of stock information and various other bits and bobs, but nothing about exactly what's going on with that. It is using a MKS SKI-PR board, apparently, according to this. Gives me the rotations, all the information. Various speeds and other bits and pieces that you'd expect to see in that printer file. But yeah. Hello, Rogue Gumshill. How are you? I'm very well, actually. Lots going on. So let's have a little read of this. QIDI or QIDI, or however we're pronouncing it, technology was founded in 2014. It's an advanced 3D printing company that has able to manufacturing a full series of high-quality FDM printer. QIDI is R&D center and laboratory. The company has 15,000 square meters of production workshop, 1,000 square meters of R&D center, and annual production of 50,000 sets of 3D printers. We're also coming to you in Chinglish at the moment, so excuse me for my reading because it doesn't make a lot of sense. They also have a number of patents software copyrights of products that pass MET, safety, quality, CE, FCC, and ROHC qualifications. And they have a rich experience of OEM and ODM. What else have we got here? International corporation experience, establishing long-going strategies with Amazon, Walmart, etc. They're the first Chinese 3D printing supplier to work with Amazon directly. Weirdly, that I've not really heard of them until this moment in time. Okay, it's been 8 years since the company was founded, and the most professional R&D team, the quickest after-sale service team. Now, I will say, when I was dealing with the customer service desk on this particular, on the last printer a couple of months ago, they were really, really super responsive. So I can't knock them for that at all. So that was all good. Who else have we got here? Razor of Pain. Wow, what a username that is, dude. Let me know what the Starlink's doing. Aesthetically, the printer looks great. Is it me, or does the bed light up, or is that the inside light and reflecting? In fact, that's probably the top, maybe. Hang on a minute. Has it got a light in it? It has got lighting in it. So there's an there's an LED strip, okay? There's an LED strip that runs down here, but part of it's falling off. Let's try and stick it back on. So the screen here as well, there's a little SD card slot on the inside on this side as well. The belts, by the way, they look about 10 mil, maybe 12 mil on the CoreXY belts. And that is going to make some significant differences, I believe, longer term, especially when you put it up against something like the QIDI K1, which is a 6 mil belt. And what I found with that is the way they've constructed the belt path is you've got... you're going to get deviations, I think, on the print longer term, especially if you get crud caught underneath the wheels there. But I'll explain that another time. I'll explain that in this main video when I get this up. Latest update, they added to camp. They also have their own slicer based on proofs. Yeah, they do. They do, actually. And they said that. One of the key phrases they put in here was all about software based on the latest Prusa and adds new high speed printing. So whatever that means. But at least what's nice, more than anything else, what's really nice is that they're at least admitting to who they're working with, or potentially copying, or whatever you want to call that. Licensing. Let's call it licensing. But yeah, again, 325 by 315. With the largest closed format printer on the market, you can explore the possibilities and create extraordinary. There you go. Okay, this is interesting because right at the bottom here, it does say hardened wear-resistant carbon fiber rod. Weight reduced from 600 grams, reduced to let's say it again. Weight reduced to 600 grams, form 1600. Enhanced strength 6 to 12 times stronger than steel. And they've now replaced it with steel. I think that was a good move, actually, to be honest with you. I don't think those carbon fiber rods are going to do anything, even with the weight. And again, they're still suggesting that they can be as fast as the QIDI K1. And to be honest with you, I've got no doubt, so that will probably be quite effective. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else here that's kind of really kind of relevant to this. It says the chamber circulation fan is with activated carbon air filter, high grade hardness steel linear hollow optical access, bendable HF flowing plates. That's fair enough. 2 kinds of hot ends, easy installation. Whole machine is shipped. Yeah, I mean, you got to take some of this stuff with a pinch of salt. But there you go. What do you think so far? Are we there yet? Nearly there. We're nearly there. Yeah, mine's still got... That's really interesting. Yours has got the carbon ones. Yeah, so this one down here definitely has the carbon ones. Definitely has the carbon ones. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, so I was expecting this. They said they'd ship it about a week ago. Obviously, I was in the States, so... I was hopeful that they wouldn't ship it too quickly, and it arrived, I think, yesterday. That was the Adam, if you're still watching, that's what we were talking about. And again, it is huge. It's a big old printer. I have got some screwdriver gouge marks in the side of mine though, just on the top here. None on this side, but there's 2 little gouge marks just in here, which what do I care? It was free, right? Okay, Auto 11 is now being completed. Input Shaper is now running. Oh, exciting. So if we're doing a bit of a verse, if we're looking at this versus other 3D printers at the moment, obviously Bambi Lab does input shaping very, very well. QIDI K1 doesn't do it quite as well. And the reason for that is I think we really need to get that access into QIDI OS, aka Klipper, to really kind of find out what is going on there. But this is now going through the motions. So the hot end shroud, I guess you could call it, or surround is all plastic. I have had this apart already in my exploration with the first printer, and it came apart real easy. It is all plastic though, so you know you'll get some sort of limitations with that. How many times you sort of undo it, take it on, take it off, undoing things, doing them up too tight, things breaking, etc., etc. But I guess this would be one of those printers. I think people will get them and maybe try and modify them. Again, I'm even wondering how much of the plastic you could take off if you chose to. Right, well, we're vibrating nicely at the moment. We'll get this set up. Oh, thanks, Phil. Mine is the Smart 3. I already had to glue the bed bearings on mine since they fall off with the heat and the vibrations. By the way, the glue idea was from them. Really? No way. Hey, Shannon. Yeah, it is. It's a big one. It is a big one. Now, I'm still on the undecided factor on actually what the build volume is, because on the back of the printer it says 325 squared, and on the instructions that I've got here, the QIDI content guidelines, that, by the way, if a 3D printing company sends you the guidelines, I think it's always a very, very positive thing to show that actually they care and they understand what the product is. The times that people have just sent me a printer to unbox and it's just been a colossal mess of metal and plastic, it's an untold issue. So being able to talk about exactly what they are visaging is certainly better for me, and I think better for everybody. So we're now doing the y-axis now. They've also got guidelines here for the X+3 and also the X Smart 3. Wow, that's super loud. That is super loud. What else have we got here? Okay, so 303. So wow, actually, hang on a minute. This is interesting. 350 max extruder temperature, 350 degrees. I think Bamboo and K1 is only 300, so you get that extra 50 for the same kind of money. 120 degrees hotbed temperature, 65 degree independent chamber heating, built-in independent device, heating device, maximum of 65 degrees. That's probably why we've got so many power supplies on the bottom of them. Now then, getting into the nozzle thing, the copper alloy nozzle, new process copper nozzle, with better thermal conductivity is what I think it's going to say than original brass. Okay, so new process copper nozzle, better thermal conductivity than original brass, printing ABS, PLA, and PETG. Smoother, more durable, heating temperature 350 degrees. Hardened steel nozzle. This hardened steel nozzle, the highest rating of temperature is 350 degrees, easily can print high performance materials, longer life, better printing effect. New cooling system, reduce risks of clogs. I guess risks of clogs if you undo the door and you take the top off, right? That's what it says on the box. Control temperature change. There's a lot about this temperature chamber. Double-sided flexible PEI sheet which is awesome. Faster printing. It's a lot about. I love this bit. This is ultimate guidelines. The price is more adventurous. There's nothing more adventurous than spending money, I guess. The price is more adventurous. High grade steel, linear, hollow. Okay, here we go. So this is interesting again. High grade, hardness steel, linear, hollow, optical access. Highly durable, no need for frequent maintenance, typically lasts a lifetime without having to replace it. Right, so that's really, really interesting because this one, as we saw on the sticker a minute ago, said exactly the opposite to that, because once that's dead, you can't replace that. But I don't know. Do printers have, okay, it's still running the input shaping. Do printers have a lifetime? What is that lifetime? Is it 10 years? Is it 5 years? You're loving yours so far. I want to see what you're printing, dude. What are you printing on this colossal machine? Don't get me wrong, I want this to succeed. I'm being a little bit lighthearted with maybe some of the comments and stuff here, but anything that is coming fresh into the market right now that isn't CoreXY is probably not that interesting to people that want to go fast. There is a really good argument at the moment about slow-moving printers being more effective for strength on 3D printed parts. I'm totally all down for that, but ultimately, with your CoreXY printer, you can slow it down. So it's the same but different. Let's have a look and see what it says now. Right, keep pushing the filament into the filament runout sensor until reach extruder. Until reach extruder. Next. Keep pushing filament into the runout sensor until reach extruder. Really wish they'd employ someone to write these things. Okay, so we are there. Let's press next. Next. Here we go. Click left side plus button and start heating and setting nozzle temperature. Wow, it goes up quick. Let's do 220. Ensure the filament into the extruder. Check below button for loading. Okay, well, I think it's thinking about it now. Doesn't feel like it's taking it yet, though. So larger volume, bigger printer towers, as well as... Oh, right, that's what you're making. Max speed on this is 600 millimeters per second with a 20,000 millimeters acceleration, according to my sources. Extrude the filament. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's extrude. Okay, so we do have some black filament that appears to be coming out. Come on, you can do it. The screen is a bit iffy, so I'll just show you the screen at the top here. No, it didn't even do it. Okay, that's weird. Right, well, let's go in and let's try and extrude from the menu because that didn't work. Oh no, okay, here we go. No, we do have some filament coming out. There you go. There's the filament coming out. So happy days with that. What are we going to print? What are we going to print? Let's have a look. So we might as well do the benchy because we can. There's a lot more on here than there was before. Maybe we do the benchy and then we do the bunny and then we'll probably call it quits then. Here's a problem. Getting the glue onto the bed. Easy fix for that is not to use the glue, of course. And instead, we're going to use some 3D lac. This is the plus. So here we go. A couple of little squirts. Probably shouldn't do that inside of a heated chamber, but there you go. That's the life we're living at the moment. So let's go for the 3D Benchy G code. That's kind of cool. So on the, hang on a minute, let me move this up. On the screen, it shows you the, I'm guessing, Klipper generated image. It's going to go through the bed leveling, which I know it's already done. It's 17-minute Benchy, 10.5 grams and 3.5 meters using PLA. Printer moving closer may cause some temperatures. Yeah, okay, so we're going to keep everything open. I think that's, okay, all right, well, whatever. Whatever. I don't know how I feel about that, particularly. You're not going to be able to see that from there, are you? I'm going to have to build up a tower of Polymaker PLA and a 3D printed robot so I can get the camera right up to the top there. Right, you ready? I'm going to move you over. Hold still. It won't hurt a bit. Okay. There we go. So hopefully we can see what's going on there. Fingers crossed. If you can't, then I might need to push the button. No, we're good. Did not need any glue on mine. PI sticks very good, even with ABS. Their ABS Rapido and PLA Rapido are great. Awesome. Okay. Well, let's see what happens. Let's try and get some clarity on that. Maybe move the camera down a tiny bit. Sorry, guys. Test print Benji and Bunny opposite end of the bed to see how it travels will be really good. Yeah, so Shannon, whether or not I'll have the time to do that in this stream, I don't know, because this is very much about getting out of the box and seeing how if it prints and if it prints first time. Hopefully it will. And again, let's just see if we can get a bit of zoom on that. And the other thing, of course, will be, hang on, let's see if we can turn this on. There you go, look. Whee! Little me at the top of your screen. How frightening. So yes, we've got lots of really cool things coming up. I have got the, can I tell you about that? Yeah, I'm sure I can. I've got some stuff going on with QIDI at the moment, which is very, very interesting. And that was following on from the ShareFest event that I did out in the US at the Midwest Rep Festival. It turns out they really liked it. So bully for me. We're going to be doing some more work with them and lots of very, very interesting content. In fact, I'm going to be filming so much content. I'm probably going to have about 3 months worth of content ready to go in hopefully the next couple of months. So it's going to be an interesting time. So let's just move this out a little bit so you can see what's going on. Again, we've got a full color screen at the top here. We have a little bit of crap on there. Let's get rid of that. We have got a light, which you can turn on and off. And again, being that it's Klipper, it's going to take a few seconds to sort of recognize that. We might need to lift the bed up ever so slightly when this starts printing, but from an out-of-box experience so far, this is pretty good. I'm going to check to see if the bar is in that old printer as well. Let's have a look. I can't see actually because the bed is all the way down. No, it's not, I don't think. No, so in the previous version, the bar wasn't there either. So I'm guessing they're using sensors to do something with that. Okay, we are starting now. Here we go. Let's just zoom in on that. If you can see that, you've probably got better eyes than I have. See if we can get another light on top of this. It's dark, isn't it? It's a bit too dark. Okay, we're going to do something here to try and get some more light on this. We can move this round. Let's see if that's any good. Possibly, possibly not. Maybe that's a bit better. Maybe you can see a bit more blue. Let's have a look on the screen. What's this say? Okay. Gives me plenty to watch then. No, dude, it's going to be awesome. I'm like really, really super excited about it all. Lots of trips. I've got a new crew that I'm putting together at the minute. I've got a video editor. I've got a cameraman, hopefully, that's coming on board. There's lots going on. So, you know, we're getting to the position that I was hoping to get to 6 months ago. That hasn't quite happened. And, yeah, some stuff happened in America that was really, really awesome as well. So, yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. Let's change the color of that light. Let's change it to white. There we go. So again, this is the XMAX3. It's a 325 by 315. Apparently, we're going to test that later. That'll be in the review. Speedy 3D printer, 600 millimeters per second. It is a colossal printer, straight out of the box. It looks like this benchy is a single layer benchy, just for people that wanted to know, and it looks like it's at 0.25, I would say, looking at the benchy that's coming out at the minute. This will be a 15 or 16 minute benchy. And from the looks of it, the quality looks pretty divine. We'll see how that works out. So we're 3 minutes into this now 17 minute benchy, 16, 17 minute benchy. This is when I need Debbie McGee. She'd break a hip, mate, if she was around me. And perhaps between now and then we get to the bottom of what's in the name. QIDI, QIDI, QIDI. How are you pronouncing it? So I'm guessing that this is PLA, this black, because it seems to be printing out very nice. All the information that you're going to need for your support is on the back. And as I said before, the support that I got before from one person in particular was very, very good. Dan says, so far it's a good looking machine. QIDI, it's called a QIDI. That's what we're going to call it. QIDI XMAX3. So the filament sits very nicely at the back. It's going to be a bit of a pain though, isn't it? If you've got to try and reach and put your filament in. I guess you're going to have to think about where you're going to put this printer. And if you followed any of my socials recently, you would notice that in this very room, we've got loads of printers over there that are on racks. And then in the back room here as well, we've got printers in here as well. So this is probably going to live in the back. So getting access to that is going to be interesting. So I might have to relocate. Again, this is part of the issue with when a 3D printer has been built, like this has been built, I'm going to have to maybe modify a part and, you know, put the Bowden tube through something else. Incidentally, the filament runout sensor is mounted on the back, so I could remount that, I guess, somewhere else, and I don't know. We'll work it out. We'll work it out. But for £1,000, which will probably be around about $1,200, depending on where you're at, it's QIDI. It is QIDI. It means inspire. Shannon, you're an absolute godsend. I'm going to write that down. If I had a pen, I'm going to highlight it. It means inspire. QIDI. Cool. Well, thank you for that. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this benchy. We're going to have a look at the benchy. And while we're looking at the benchy, we're also going to print the bunny. And hopefully that'll be a super quick bunny as well. Oh my God, actually the quality of that is, let me see if I can get a slightly better look at this. Let's maybe go in a bit more. Because it's black filament, it's quite difficult for you guys to see, but I'll be honest, it does look pretty awesome. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of focusing on the wrong bits. It doesn't feel as chaotic as like the K1 and the Bamboo Lab printers tend to feel like you're getting this kind of shock system where everything's making so much noise and gyrating around like it's something crazy. The benchy does look sweet though. Again, when I do the full review, I'll have a look at the G-code as well and see what is in the G-code, because it looks like a single layer. It's probably at 0.25 layer height and stuff, which is why ultimately we're getting that speed. To get 600 millimeters per second into that small of a space is not something that's really achievable, certainly for the full amount. And unfortunately, it doesn't show on here what the printing speed is at the moment. Again, we'll get it plugged in, we'll have a look at Klipper, and that will give us a fair indication of exactly where this is at. Obviously, it doesn't have any Wi-Fi connectivity at the moment. I don't think it has that at all, in fact. Ethernet cable connection is certainly on the back here, so we'll look to plug that in. I really want to take this home Sounds weird, but what I'm finding now is when I'm in the office and when I'm here, I kind of get the stuff done that I need to get done and the stuff that I need to film. And then once I've done that, then I kind of go home and I'm sat there at about 8 o'clock wondering what I'm going to do next. And usually it's editing. Wow, that's an awful focus. Thanks so much, Sony. Look at the state of that. That's horrible, isn't it? Let's see if we can zoom in a bit more. Make it even more blurry for you guys. Let's move that around. Set that to manual. Come on. That really sucks. So it doesn't feel as aggressive. Mate, honestly, I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best. It doesn't look bad though. Ah, here we go. Let's get the manual focus on, shall we? Let's see if we can get that down. That's a bit better, isn't it? Right, let me know what you think about that. I had the wrong setting on it. Little monkey. How loud is it? Not as loud as any other printer that I have here. But we are shaking around quite a bit. I didn't put the feet on yet, which again are frighteningly similar to the K1 feet. But it is juddering around on the bench at the minute a little bit. They do print great, but do shake a lot. Yeah, they do. You're absolutely right. Hello, Scott. Morning from the Midwest. Hope you're well, dude. So does the Bamboo Labs. Absolutely. Yeah, you're completely right. In fact, going back even a few years when people were like, oh, you don't want to do CoreXY and you don't want to do Delta. The reason for that is because they're too complicated and CoreXYs don't do circles correctly because it's really complicated on the calculations. We used to get all that kind of stuff, and now I can't really. I mean, the P1Ps I've got here, and I do use them in a sort of farm scenario here. There's 5 P1Ps and 3 X1 carbons here, and then I've got 2 K1s that are basically running various projects at the moment, including the Def Racer stuff. The Def Racer is coming up at the East Coast Rep Festival, and if you are going to the East Coast Rep Festival, I'll be there as well. So hopefully, and I will look forward to seeing you there if you are there. But meanwhile, we are 61% in with 6 minutes to go on this benchy. There's a couple of, you know what? It looks okay, but it's not perfect. There's a few deviations in that. And to be completely honest, it doesn't feel like it's moving that fast. Like, when you see a Bamboo Lab printer for the first time and you're like, my God, that hot end's so quick. It doesn't feel like it's savagely fast. Yeah, I've got a V400 as well. Again, I don't use it as much as I really should because I absolutely love that. I absolutely love that printer. So part of the movement here is, I don't know if you can see this contraption that I've constructed here. I've got 3 lots of filament and a robot body that's basically holding that up. So a lot of the movement is going to be down to the instability of that. Again, I think this is kind of cool. And I think it's just a shame though, like the fans going 10 to a dozen on the back. It's not hugely loud, even with the top off and the door open, which again, they do suggest you do. Let's have a look at the manual. See what's inside of that. We've got a few minutes. What's that? The Bamboo at regular speed. Our regular speed prints like Tweak from South Park. It does. It feels really. So it's QIDI. I'm calling it QIDI. So we've got the dryer box, we've got 500 grams of filament, we've got a filament spool holder, we've got a holder cover, we've got some dissident, we've got some power cord, Ethernet cable, scraper, Allen keys, and they're calling them Allen keys, which is interesting. 7mm spanner, flat-headed screwdriver, 0.4 nozzle cleaning tool. What was that noise? That was a creepy noise. Spare parts, rubber feet, glue stick, USB flash drive, and the high temperature hot end. Interesting. So over other printers, one of the unique features I'm guessing from this is that it does heat to 350 degrees and 120 on the build plate. So, you know, depends what you want to do, I guess. You know, the K1 doesn't have multiple colors at the moment, but it could do in the future. This has an auxiliary part cooling fan, and it has a chamber heating fan that's basically located in the bottom left-hand corner. It feels quite sturdy, and it feels very steady. It's got some specifics here on the overall machine. Is 553 by 553 by 601. Again, there's a lot of plastic, like an obscene amount of plastic in this. Yeah, there is. So in the bottom left-hand corner, there is an amalgamation of cables, and there is a heater, and it's like a blow heater. It's like an element blow heater. Makes a change, doesn't it, from not getting white filament standard with a 3D printer, though. Let me know how the stream is as well, guys, if you wouldn't mind. Again, we're trialing something here. As you may or may not know, we had, when I've done streams in the past, they have been an abomination of quality control. I thought it might be down to the laptop. Then we thought it might be down to the Wi-Fi connection. And in the end, I've got rid of my Wi-Fi at home for Starlink. We've also got Starlink here. So I'm hoping it might be a bit better. The other thing is we were using Streamlabs before. So I can bring animation, video, and all sorts of other crazy stuff in. And I'm not now. I'm going straight through YouTube. So cool. Thanks, Phil. Maybe get a better mic. Oh my God, this is a brand new mic. Can't believe you're saying that. Is it a little bit loud? Is that what you're saying? Audio and video is good. The shakes is not so good. Yeah, sorry about that. If you do suffer from any issues around being shaken vigorously, I do apologize. Yeah. So this is it. It is really shaking now, though, isn't it? So it gets to the end. And again, the reason for the shaking, guys, is going to be due to this weird filament stand thing that I've used to pop the camera onto. Hey, Collie, hope you're well. Who else we got? George White, nice to see you. AJ. Right, I just yeah. So I'm using a Blackmagic Atom Mini here, and I've just whipped that down by 2. It's on it's like a lapel mic thing, which I took to the States with me and filmed all the Creality stuff with, and it sounded okay in edit. So we'll keep working on it. I have got a new camera coming. I haven't ordered it yet. I say it's coming. I haven't ordered it yet. I would like a new camera, is really what I'm saying. And I want to do some cinematic stuff. Got some big ideas. Got an idea for a documentary that I'm trying to get off the ground as well, which sounds weird, but it's not the comedy that my streams are normally full of course. But, you know, it was peaking. Okay, let's have a look. See, the thing is, I don't want to mess around with it. It does seem to be like then it seems to be peaking. I don't know how to mess around with that too much. So I shall investigate on how to mess around with that. Any updates on the K1 Max? Good question. The updates are that there have been some delays on the K1 Max. And to be honest with you, I do not care. Hang on. I do not care what anybody else is telling you online or fabricating because they work for Amazon or whatever. There is a delay on it. But they are saying they are shipping very, very soon. As you know, Pretzel Prints got one. She got the first one that was available that we gave away at the Creality Share Fest, which was an awesome accolade. And I don't actually think that she honestly understood exactly what that meant, because ultimately she was the very, very first one to get that printer, which is pretty astonishing. How do we take this off? Let's take the build plate out. And as I said before, you can see here, these are huge, huge magnets, very kind of reminiscent of the Losbot printer, the Sidekick. Let's just take that off, put that back, and I'll show you this now, if we can. Hang on. Tell you what I'll do. Let's not do that. Let's put on another print so we're not messing around. Let's do the, how long's the bunny? That's an hour and 45 minutes. I'm not doing that. Let's do, how long's this one? 12 minutes. It's a logo. It's a bit naff. X.G code. What's this? It's 34 minutes. Yeah, I've printed that one already. What else have we got? There's a puzzle. There's, what is that? Hour and 16. All right, we're just going to have to go for the logo then for the minute, I think. Let's go ahead with that then. Again, we're running this up. This is a 12-minute print. And as I say, I'll whip this down into the other camera. Bosh, just like that. And we turn this one off for a minute. And I'll come up to you. I'll come forwards. Let's move this around so you can see it. So 16-minute benchy there. Let me know if we're getting focused there. Hopefully we are. It's actually pretty good. I thought under the light, see there's a little bit of a deviation here. I don't know if you can see that, guys. In fact, hang on. Let's get a piece of paper and put it behind it. Look how professional this has all become all of a sudden. Here we go. So hopefully you can see the spot focus there. So there's a little deviation on the rear. Is that coming out? Hopefully it is. If it's not coming out, then I'll put it on Twitter. But I've got to be honest. The logo on the back isn't amazing. But let's do a photo. Let's do a photo of it. And then we'll put it on the old Twitter. See what you guys think of that. Let's do a couple of photos. There we go. So if you don't follow along already on Twitter, in fact, Twitter hasn't been like a whole big thing this week with people not wanting to tweet anymore and hating everything in life to do with Twitter. If you don't follow along already, the Twitter handle is @SamPrentice. And I'm just uploading. It's not doing anything now. That's not bad though. Okay. Okay, so we'll put one on there. And there's a new Twitter thing now, isn't there? Isn't it called Threads or something? Yeah. Threads as well. What are you guys saying? It's your lighting. It is my lighting. I love my K1. We'll talk about that in a minute. Give me 2 secs. Let me put on here. Allow access to all photos. Donk, 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 donk. Add. Okay, so this is going to be on... if you want to follow along @TheRealSamPrentice on this new platform, which is called Threads. Apparently Elon Musk really annoyed everybody yesterday, apparently, and now that's the new thing. Everyone's going crazy about that. So, yeah, happy with that. We're going to do this next print, and then we're probably going to call it a day for now. It doesn't look like a 0.2. It looks like slightly more than a 0.2. It's certainly not a 0.3. Looking good, though. Let's talk about the K1 and opening it up. And as you know, Dan, already, we spoke about this a little bit already with one thing and another. And I do honestly think the reason that they're doing what they're doing is, you know, it's always anything anyone does like that is always questionable. But I think the reason that they are doing it is because they don't want people to be messing their machines up, certainly if they don't know what they're doing. And that being the case, that's exactly what they've done with the Sonic Pad, and they've basically kept that sort of locked down, as you know. And up until very recently, I believe, actually, when they opened it back up again. So, yeah, in short, the K1 will be opened up. And I also know that there are other manufacturers that are looking to produce motherboards for the K1, which hopefully you'll see in the next couple of weeks, knowing how quick people are to the marketplace. So all of their staff are leaving. Dude, do you know, Cole, do you know if she left or if she pushed? I would love one of those fancy umbrella things. Why don't we start as we mean to go on, and maybe subscribe to supporting the channel, and I'll get one of those amazing things. I saw Ben from, oh my God, TikTok, Space Boy. He's going for a hard time at the moment. And one of the things that struck me is people think that content creators earn loads of money through doing this. 100%, they do not. It is, if you think this is a business, and if Adam's still here, the struggle is real. You know that. Any news? Wait, what's going on here? Yeah, exactly, Nero. Exactly. The money that you make through this, through doing this hobby, is solely through sponsorship. It is not through YouTube. YouTube do not pay you anything. It is atrocious, in fact. So there's no sponsorship for this video, but I'm doing it in my lunch hour. Yeah, it's all good. Any news on other MMU? Is that for the Creality K1? Well, I've got some news for that, because Chameleon have sent me their version, whatever that is. And certainly for Smurf, which is the Sanjay Mortimer Rep Festival that's going to be in Oxford in December, I'll have a P1P and a K1 with the Chameleon system on it. And you should see 4-color printing for $200 or less. So that's one thing that's going on. Honey Badger channel makes nothing. I'm not surprised. It's James's attitude, though, is the reason he probably makes nothing. Only joking. I love him, really. Will he be there? I heard Nero makes 100K just from streaming. You know what? Nero is very, very popular. And if I could even have a fraction of his subscriber count, I would be very, very happy. He's an awesome dude. But he did shoot me in the ass with a Nerf gun 2 weeks ago. And then he put it online. Love you really, buddy. Love you really. Will he be there? Collie, I don't know who you mean, will he be there? Are you thinking Honey Badger, or are you thinking Will from 3D Chameleon? 3D Chameleon, I don't know if they're going to be there. We discussed it, and he said he might be. So if that's what you mean, if you're thinking someone else, I don't know. I think she might have been pushed, but she was working crazy hours. Dude, I tell you what, the Chinese are insanely hardworking. And if you look at some of the ways that they work their hours, I think it was kind of like, I think they call it like a 12-12-6 or something. Might be 8-8-6. I can't remember exactly what the number is. But it's the hours worked a day versus, you know, what other places in the world work. I mean, if you take Spain, everyone just has a sleep at lunchtime, right? Maybe that's a sweeping stereotype. I don't know. Anyway, if you just joined us, this is, how we pronounce it again? The QIDI. Did we call it the QIDI? I made a note of it. QIDI. It's the QIDI. It's the QIDI XMAX3 CoreXY printer for £1,000, $999 if you can get it for a special deal right now. But it's a 325 by 315 CoreXY speedy 3D printer. It's one of those ones that you can just get out of the box and you could be printing just like this in a matter of minutes. Right now we're doing the logo. We're 44% into that. Things are shaking, unfortunately, on your screen due to the fact that I have no money from YouTube. And if you want to sponsor Sam Prentice, then you can. Just hit that money logo. Hoping 3D Chameleon will okay. 3D Chameleon. Let's start this again, Collie. Sorry for the delay. Hoping 3D Chameleon will be there at Smurf. I am hoping so too. When I spoke to him about it, I said to him I would very, very gladly pick him up from the airport and drive him to Oxford if he wanted to come along. And we had a really good conversation about that. I didn't spend it all on pancakes, just so you know. In fact, I only had one pancake. 696 is saying 696. That's the one. Thank you. Yeah, 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., 6 days a week. The best birth control. Yeah, I bet it is. I bet it is. Yeah, it's a shame. But what I will say is the people from Creality that I met at the ShareFest that, by the way, I hosted. Just saying. Oh, Phil, you shouldn't have done that, you bugger. Right, well, Phil's putting into the fund then for a new lighting rig for this studio, which hopefully will be with me next week once I've bought that really expensive cinematic camera. Obviously, the whole point of this is bringing you the content. Dude, you shouldn't have done that. I keep looking at my screen now, and I can't even put it on the screen to show that. You're so cute. 696. Let's go back to that. So yeah, the Chinese are insanely hardworking. Darkening Shadow 32 is back, still printing away. Yeah, I am. This is the second print, and at the moment, it's not gyrating like a $10 hooker. In fact, it's printing very nicely at the moment. Again, another nice little print coming out of this. I'm super impressed with this bench, you know. For 16 minutes, it's not bad. It's not bad. And bear in mind, the first time that I got this thing out of the box and I started recording on it, this was the original one that's on the floor down here. When we got that out of the box originally, it was awful. It didn't print. It wouldn't stick to the build plate. Nothing was working on it. It was a hot mess of plastic. And when they said, "Oh, just chuck it away," it melted my heart a little bit. But see you later, Carl. Take care, dude. With all the shows that you've been to, have you seen any other machines like the Prusa XL? We need a 5 extruder printer at a lower cost. The waste the bamboo produces isn't business friendly. Well, apparently the 3D Chameleon can do up to, I think Will said, 64 colors, and it doesn't interrupt or mess around with the printer. All it does is it's programmed via G-code. So that looks really, really interesting, which is why I wanted to try it on the K1, because I think if you could get the K1 at the market value that it's at the moment with multiple color printing, I think then it's going to be a bit of a contender. Like most of these things, though, right? Bamboo, they've just done a year of the P1P now. They've certainly done over a year of the X1 Carbon. And yeah, right, there's some people out there that are still complaining and moaning about various things, but there's a lot of people that aren't moaning. So yeah, again, fast CoreXY printers that you don't have to build like Vorons and rat rigs and all those other crazy things. There is definitely a market for that. And probably printers that you can unbox and throw away in 12 months' time. There's probably going to be a market for that at some point as well. Probably. We do live, after all, in a throwaway society. And if you do buy a new TV, what do you do with the old one? You chuck it away, or you give it to someone, or I don't think people break into your house and steal a TV anymore. Maybe they do. I'll get home tonight and I won't have a TV. Oh, one could be good for parts. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree. But the thing is, it's all about storage space. And let's have a think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I have 50 3D printers in this room. 50 in this room. And then I've got another office on the other side, and there's printers in there. All my Deltas are in the other part of the building as well. And then there's, yeah. So like I say, big, oh man, you know, really the rat rig for me, the 500 rat rig is the best for the big CoreXYs. But again, the Achilles heel of that, of course, is that you have to build it yourself. That's the way it goes. When I did the input shaping on the Max 3, I was worried that it was going to turn into a jet engine and take off. This is my first, yeah. So it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because you need to know what you're expecting. And I think some of the content creators, when you're lucky enough to get a 3D printer for the very first time and you're going through that emotion, I think there is some merit in watching a live stream where someone else is unboxing, which I guess is one of the reasons why we do it. You know, oh, Scott, down payment for a real tripod. Scott, you're a dude. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. I think this is cool. I think this is going to be quite a good printer. I think it needs a little bit of tuning and a little bit of playing around with, but we'll get through to that. And again, their slicer is based off or has profiles for Prusa slicer. Unfortunately, when they sent me the executable file, it was on an EXE format and I run a Mac. So I couldn't install it. Otherwise, I would have sliced something and probably just whacked it straight on. But obviously, when I get round, hopefully in the next few days, to sort of shooting lots more stuff here, I'm doing this Anycubic Photon Mono M5S. And if Nero's still here, oh, Shannon, thank you, dude. I appreciate that. That's amazing. If Nero's still here, he said to me, he said on a stream the other day about resin, and it really, really resonated with me. And, you know, bottom line is I really, really hate resin printers. I think they're dangerous. I think that, hey, look at that, we're done. I think that there's a lot that goes into resin that, you know, we don't know about, and ultimately it could lead to your demise one way, shape or form. And a lot of these things, like most things, they give you cancer. So, you know, you've got to be a bit careful. So resin isn't my friend, but on the same side of that, you know, there's a lot of FDM fumes that come out of various bits and pieces. So you've got to be super careful whatever you do. And ultimately, friends, you will die from something eventually. So I don't want my demise to be 3D printing though, but what I will say is we've just finished this little print here, and hopefully we can get some spot focus on that. If it looks crap, I'm really sorry, but at least the funds that you guys have put together for me today will alleviate the pain one way, shape or form. There we go. So again, nice little logo there. It's a pretty good print actually. I'm impressed with it. Let's move this down over here and we'll remove my my tripod for the moment. So we just finished this off. That was a 12-minute print. The Benchy I'm really, really impressed with. What can I say? There's a lot of plastic on this. Hell of a lot of plastic. Let's do a final summary then, I guess. This printer prints a Benchy really well, and it's heavy, and it's in a big box full of stuff. You need a team of people to lift it, and it does say team lift on the side. QIDI3dprinter.com is possibly where you should buy that. On Shopify, it's QIDI. How are we saying this again? Oh my God, what's happening here? Yeah, so the filament is PLA. Jonathan Barnes, Wexter needs to do a mini tripod so you can have him next to my mini gym. Here he is. We've got a mini gym and we've got a mini Joel, although they're actually pretty big. How are we pronouncing this again? Tell me how to pronounce it again. Inspire. Here we go. Here we go. Bear with me. This has been a good stream. Thanks, guys. There's a lot of information here. QIDI. Yeah, the filament was PLA. So, however we're saying it, where's Jim? Here he is. That's my mini Jim. Now, Wexter did try and do a mini of me, but apparently I have a very, very generic everything. So he really struggled with that. So 600 millimeters per second apparent printing with 20,000 acceleration. This pretty much is the guideline for any CoreXY 3D printer that is wanting to sort of cut its teeth inside of this 3D printing market right now. You're going to be seeing more CoreXYs coming into the market, and I suspect you're going to be seeing some that aren't done particularly well, and then you're going to see others that are lighting the way, showing others which way to follow, etc., etc. I'm really, really excited for what's coming up, and I know a few things, and I think you guys are going to be super excited about this as well. The XMAX3 is £1,000 or $1,200 If you can find it cheaper, then I would suggest you do. It's a 330 by 330 on the build volume. It's 325 apparently on the back. But we're going to continue testing this. I will do a video on it as well. We'll go through some of the finer details on that. We'll get the Prusa profile set up. Guys, you've been amazing. Thank you so much for all the support. And we will get a slightly bigger, better light up here. And maybe if this is something that you like, I'll carry on doing some streams, maybe once a week or something, or once a month from here when I can during the day, UK time, all that kind of craziness. So if you're just waking up in America, good morning. For the rest of you guys in the UK, good afternoon, and wherever else you are in the world, good evening. Is there anything else finally that you want to know about this printer before I move away? QIDI, it's the QIDI. I'm going to write that down. QIDI. Shannon, thank you again. That is incredible. I'm going to probably go off and get some lunch now, but thanks for joining me on the stream. I've got loads of new content coming out. There's some amazing adventures that I've just been invited to, and I can't tell you too much about them right now, but it is going to blow your minds where you see that I've been invited out to. Again, like I say, we've got a crew. It's going to be like the A-team going out. I nearly said where I was going. It's going to be like the A-team going out somewhere, and I will imagine that the content that's going to be made there is going to be absolutely epic. So thank you if you've joined me today. If you join me later on, don't forget, like and subscribe, and we will see you guys next time. Thank you very much. Bye for now. End stream. End it.